Hello, YouTube viewers. Just wanted to pop it back on and record a couple of thoughts I had and put a little addendum to the bullying, stealing, and karma video earlier. I make this one part two. Seems to me lately, these days, there's a lot of angry people out there, out in the public, with a lot of angry souls moving around. One only needs to hop on the highway to see how angry people have gotten, and that's when they're beyond arm's reach of each other. Anger can be made productive when using it to promote for a better future in a productive manner, but it can also set you back when it's used improperly. And it seems that any of the human emotions, when used in extreme, can lead to unforeseen, undesired results. Yet when used in a positive and balanced way, it has a potential of yielding miraculous and positive results. Abusing any emotion in the light of ignoring blatant reality usually leads to eventual downfall. Refusing to see reality serves you no purpose. It even imprisons you in a circular prison. When you spend more than 100% of your time and funds just to achieve one thing, you neglect the rest of your life. Neglect is imbalance, people. Neglect is retrograde movement. The hardest thing to do sometimes is to change your perspective. The easiest thing to do is to leave blinders on and hope for different. I think it was Einstein that had said that's the definition of insanity. Empty hope is painfully disappointing. At some point, the fruitlessness of that empty hope should steer you to an alternative direction, one you can actually control, within your power to control. Remember, you are in charge of your own life, no one else's. After all, there's one thing I've learned over the past year. It's you can't look to anyone else to enable you on your future. You have to take charge of your own issues, your own potentials, and make them happen for yourself, not for or not because of someone else. At the end of the day, you are in charge of your life, no one else. Responsibility lies only with you. At some point, it becomes painfully obvious that you may have to travel your path alone, with just you, and you better like your own company. We got to work on that. You are the only one who knows what path is best for you, and I think it's worth remembering for us all that there's quite a difference between lonely and being on your own. Codependence is pointlessly sad. It's a pointlessly sad path, in fact. Codependence does not provide stability or foundation. Codependence is the weakest form of union. Codependence robs you of your future and your full potential. Remember, you can only live one life at a time. Fear of living alone can be quite profound, but remember, fear is transitory. It's not permanent. Nothing in life ever is. One season's failure sometimes transmutes easily into the next season's success. Maybe not so easily, but it does. Every lesson learned had its purpose, and it usually propels you onto something higher. There's something to be said for moving on, all on your own, and not having to have help in making extra mistakes from codependence. Also, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're destined to repeat them for the rest of your life. Over the last year, I've come to reconfirm that I never was really alone. I'm still surrounded by excellent family, cousins, friends, past co-workers. Most importantly, I'm surrounded by what I feel are ancestors, those who've departed ahead of me. Parents, grandparents, ancestors from God knows how far back. That energy is comprised of many things, and it also includes soul energy of those who came before us. That collective of souls, that collection of energy, is as conscious as we are. Energy doesn't die, it just transforms. Energy doesn't break down. And you can even ask, in my opinion, for advice, direction, or help from that bundle of energy, that next level energy that we're all going to eventually return to one day. I've been noticing in the last, since the beginning of the year, weird coincidences happening. Not grandiose or great grandiose revelations, to be sure, but small little coincidences, little hints that lead down different paths if you pay attention. And you have to remember that collection of energy or history beyond has a history, in my opinion. And these are things you just come to feel or know within you if you pay attention, if you ask questions. It doesn't really matter whether you think that everything around you is solely explained by Christianity, or if you possibly have compassion for Judaism, for Islam, or even native people's creation beliefs. Personally, I'm leaning heavily at the moment into ancestor souls led by angel souls, led by a soul creator. I believe heavily in the energy and the souls attached to that energy. Could be one and the same, I don't know. Semantics. I think it's more of a spiritual hierarchy that has a creator who likely is the being, the original soul of it all. I feel that creator, to me, would likely have been the original self-actualized ether or energy particle or particles, who after time then subdivided itself into other subunits to create this soul collective of energy, so as to explore itself and that power of creation. It's just something that I feel intuitively. Of course, I can't prove it. It comes from inside. And it doesn't matter. I don't think we'll realize the big picture until we actually join that big collective in the sky someday. It's quite unimportant what the true big picture is galactically. The real important part is, how do you carry yourself in your current situation, your current job, your current role on this planet? Do you carry yourself with dignity? Do you carry yourself with humanity and civility with the other of God's creatures? Everyone has their place on this planet. Everyone is a soul of their own. How do you treat them if they're God's creatures and you're one of God's creatures? Do you carry yourself with love or envy? Do you carry yourself with a modicum of faith? Or do you just walk about low-browed filled with hate? Do you envision for yourself a positive future? Are you capable of bouncing back easily from your failures or your setbacks? Or do you find life a complete chore and surrender to this dense 3D life? Do you keep repeating the same errors, or do you make subtle changes just to see what happens? I think with age comes a point at which you look at your life and you just decide, you know what, I think it's time to put certain things on the shelf. I'm going to retire some bad habits. Retire those destructive or unproductive things within your way of life. Perhaps you might even consider giving your remaining future that you have, depending on your age, your remaining future over to help from your ancestral powers or your creator above power. Now, they might have more success getting you down the garden path than you have up to now. What could you possibly lose by taking that resourceful leap of faith, letting someone else drive the golf cart for once? Control is elusive. Life pilots us around, usually, not the other way around. We have control of the smaller things, the insignificant things. And some of these things can disappear on you, medically, physically, mentally, financially. We just rent this body for the time we have it on this planet. And you have to keep in mind, no man is an island, no person, I should say, is an island. And no person lives in the solitary bubble. We are surrounded by energy just like us, people, souls, just like us, on the same stage. We're all made of the same thing, the same molecules, same electrical charges, protons, neutrons, electrons, even strings of energy if you follow metaphysics. Whatever you subscribe to, even scientifically, spiritually, scientifically, use whatever definitions you need to. Break those things down into whatever crucial labels comfort you and make things more comprehensible for you. But realize you're not alone. You're not all on your own either. You belong to, and you are answerable to, the bigger collective. Call it universe, call it heaven, call it soul collective. Unfortunately, some people seem to get fixated or completely enamored by other people's paths, spiritual or religious or financial, not really realizing that they have one of their own and can create a new one of their own. Some people also forget that no one person's path has any more merit, meaning, or value than any other. It's not really a competition. No two people have the same aim, objectives, or values. Funny way of thinking about it. Everyone should just wear one pair of underwear at a time. Don't try other people's. Just stick to your own laundry. You'll be so much more satisfied, more happy, secure. Keep in mind, each path creates a beautiful mosaic of lives, of paths, of successes, of goals. I mean, what kind of world would we be in if each flower only had one smell, one scent? What if birds only had one body type, all the same? What if rainbows only had one color? How unique and how boring would that be, that type of world? No nuance. I think people have to remember life is not meant to be easy, but it's also not meant to be boring. I think it's meant to provoke you and to create difference of your own. Make it your own. Now, do you react negatively to creation, being creative? Do you find it rewarding to be creative? If there's one thing we all know, life is simply unpredictable. The only constant in the world is that it's unconstant. Change is force manifested onto us by the bigger universe above, the conscious collective of energies. And we cannot stop change. Change is unconstant. It keeps morphing. I think it's also okay to observe other people's creativity and their accomplishments, but that should rationally lead people to simple admiration of one another. Not anger, not envy, not coveting, not hate, jealousy, all that stuff. Good karma cannot be built on those things. Like even appropriation, like theft, like subterfuge, like seduction to get what you want, like ridicule or sabotage. It comes from old-fashioned legwork. Good karma comes from selfless assistance to others, selfless love, selfless expectation. The accumulation of karma leads down two possible paths, I think. The path of accumulated good karma can usually lead to options, can lead to challenges, can lead to fulfilling successes, enlightenment, or just valuable change. The path of accumulated bad karma can lead to unwanted, uncontrolled, unclear, unpleasant, and catastrophic paths. And if you want to see my analogy, where you put, like for accumulated karma, if you put too many things in the trunk of your car or in the back of your pickup truck, eventually the front wheels are going to leave the ground and they're going to be straight up in the air or way up in the air, and you won't be able to see where you're steering. Danger will await you. And pay close attention that the universe certainly pays keen attention to the accumulation of bad karma. Universe is always, always, always trying to restore balance. Timing of the balance is unpredictable, uncertain. Timing can be slow or quick, but rest assured, balance will be restored. Negatively, positively to the center, galactically or otherwise. My hope for society, for the contemporary society that we're living in now, is that it can just open its eyes to the glaring imbalance that exists right now all around us. Our second chances to fix this for ourselves have failed. And last chances are kind of they're burning away quickly. The universe may allow a second chance, but likely not a third, fourth, or fifth chance. Universe and balance is in charge of us, not the other way around. And don't forget, universe can see in the dark. It sees around corners and into people's thinking. And when I speak of universe, I'm also speaking of Creator and the ancestors, everyone. Remember, we're all strands of the same energy, which is observable by the bigger strand of energy. In my feeling, in my opinion. You may want to explore this on your own, in your own heart. I hope people start making better choices, healthy choices, survivable choices, sustaining choices while they still have a chance. It's always been better to proceed with confidence in whatever you attempt or pursue. And if steadied confidence is not possible at the moment, why not consider trying faith or prayer to your previous ancestors or Creator? The thing is, if you want help, you've got to ask for help, right? Ask for the right help. 9 times out of 10, if you're observant, you might get that help. Likely. So hopefully I'm made some sense here, rambling on a couple of items. Optimistically, I wanted to try to generate some overall positive, self-empowering advice. And just keep in mind, remember, strength comes from within, on your own. And where you can't muster 100% strength of your own, ask for help. Ask for help from whether it's above or below within you. Ask from Spirit, ancestors, Creator. Put aside your ego, which usually makes us refuse to ask for help. Ask for your own sanity. Ask for your own survival. Like I said, no man is an island. No skin cell is a whole nose. No drop of water is an entire ocean. Okay, viewers, much love, much positivity, and much hope in you attaining complete peace and joy, whatever that means for you. Show as much love to yourself as you might to any neighbor or partner. Everybody deserves love, starting with you. Choose higher, choose faith. God bless.